Welcome back. Predominant in the manner of celebrating Eid Kabir is the slaughtering of ram and sharing among neighbors. Beyond this simplicity, there are more symbolic lessons which religious leaders say can foster unity. Michael Olaleye has more.
A major scenario that keeps hope of the Muslim faithful alive in the celebration of Eid al-Kabir is the uncommon demonstration of sacrifice and obedience traceable to how the benevolent acts of Prophet Ibrahim in fulfilling his pledge to Allah led to the instant provision of a ram in place of his son. This explains why slaughtering of animals has been enshrined in the festivity. The significance of this, as explained by the clerics, is that Prophet Ibrahim's obedience served as an atonement for the sin of humanity.
Allah say, the best provision for you is piety, fear of Allah, obedience, righteousness. So fear of Allah encompasses everything, and that is how you be successful in the hereafter.
There is no place in Lagos where the unity of purpose, as exemplified in the teachings of Prophet Ibrahim, is celebrated like here. It is a rallying point for both Muslims and Christians.
It's not when we have problem that's when we will decide to go. Everybody wants to go his own way. We are destined to be one right from the beginning. You know, Nigeria is one.
Despite being away from home, the peace found here is satisfying to Issa Jimeta, and it is this kind of experience he believes must be replicated in all parts of the country in order to make the sacrifice of obedience by Prophet Ibrahim worthwhile.
I feel like I'm in my village. There's no anything that show either on my way to mosque or in the mosque or after the mosque, even coming to this palace for me to think how I wish I'm in the northern region. I feel at home. I feel happy. You can see a lot of people there. Everybody is happy.
Apart from being a significant festival in the Islamic world, Eid al-Kabir, which falls on the 12th month of the Islamic calendar, is a reminder to humanity of the countless benefits inherent in exhibiting high level of faith and trust in Allah.
We, the Muslim, we should look at other religion as one. What I mean by one, that we are all worshipping one God. Therefore, the issue of discrimination, of saying you are from this you are where, because what shows one.
While the sound of these musical instruments continues to resonate, one important lesson from Eid al-Kabir celebration is that the multiplicity of ethnic groups in Nigeria is divine and should be further strengthened on occasions like these.
Now, the symbolic lessons of the celebration are worth embracing. Eid Mubarak. When one talks about Salah celebrations in the north, what comes to mind is usually a dobra, a show of magnificent horse processions by emirs and their subjects. However, there is more to that, particularly in Dutse Emirate of Jigawa State. This is because every Salah provides an opportunity for groups of non-indigenes to troop to the Dutse Palace to pay homage to the emir amidst cultural drumming and dancing. In this report, Muhammad Askiga takes a look at the significance of this entertainment aspect of the celebration to the unity among different tribes living together in the state.
The non-indigenous social-cultural groups annually flock to the over 500 years old Garu Palace in Dutse in the evening of Salah Day to first of all thank the Pan-Nigeria Emir Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi for his impartiality, fatherly love and obsession for unity and intercultural mutual respect among Nigerians living in the Emirates. The visit is paid town by town by different groups of the non-indigenous hailed from different parts of Nigeria. After cheerful reception, the Emir admonished each group to always remain committed to the cause of peace and unity of the country.
Joy is everywhere. As you see, people are happy. People are freely enjoying themselves. The atmosphere is friendly. This will tell you that we are all happy. And this Indigenous Nigerian Elders Forum is one of the largest forum as far as Jigawa State is concerned. This is part of the integration process to make sure we are part of the community. They have given us the feeling that we are not non-indigenous, that we are indigenous.
The Emir of Dutse, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, is responsible for the appointment of chiefs to each non-indigenous group in the emirate. The peaceful atmosphere under which the celebration is carried out and the musical accompanying the individual group portrays Dutse as a melting pot of Nigerian cultures. Further reflection on these pushes one to believe that cultural and religious harmony and above all, indivisibility of the entity called Nigeria is indeed achievable.
Do say, I think that all over there is a peaceful, not any understanding, and then we are the whole our Yoruba people. We are one.
I'm from the southwest, and coming down here, I knew I was apprehensive when my husband was insisting we're coming to visit the emir. But when I got here, I was really at home.
Indeed, this is in line with the essence of Eid al-Adha celebration, which encouraged love for one's neighbors, imbibing the culture of sharing in love and compassion, as exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, a spiritual exercise bequeathed to the world till the end of time.
Have a way of uniting us. Still on the Salah celebration, modernization is one factor responsible for the shift from one culture to another, especially during festivities. Despite this influence, there is a community which has refused to bow to growing modern trends and has over time maintained its ancestral culture during Salah celebrations. In this report, Adebola Brooklyn brings us the feel of the celebration of Salah in a remote community in Gwagwalada.
Angwambasa community is located in the Gwagwalada area of the Federal Capital Territory. The people began their day by converging on the Eid prayer ground for the two congregational prayers. After the sermon, they all proceeded to the palace as they were led by their paramount ruler. With the Salah drummers leading the way, the people showed their excitements as hunters excitedly shot into the sky. At the palace, each family head and representatives of other tribes pay homage to the king. Imam of the community mosque, on behalf of the people, made a wish.
We will continue to pray for the peace of this great nation, Nigeria.
The Aguma is strict on practices contrary to Islam.
Something like Indian hen or dog, the Islamic is not done like that. So if you do that, you are abusing your religion, which is very, very wrong.
And by keeping to the tradition and the culture, it's going to boost the morale of the youth and it's going to bring about peace.
Some of the palace chiefs want residents to collaborate with local security operatives to bring to a halt insecurity.
But in Nigerian, as it is, the activities of non-state actors need to be checked. And whatsoever grievances the non-state actors have against the Nigerian people, they need to come to realities.
I engaged the community's spokesperson who had this to say about the significance of the band and guns.
If you see this traditional band called the Salah, so automatically there's the king or there's the issue of death. So the one they blow does not have ammunition. What is it? If they point you, it will have you. By God's grace, as far as you are in this kingdom, for it signifies respect attached to the king.
Eid al-Adha is an Islamic celebration in honor of Prophet Ibrahim for his willingness to sacrifice his son Ismail as an act of obedience to God's command.
We must applaud the community for upholding its ancestral heritage. Very important. I told you earlier on that today is a Salah edition. Now, there is something unique and special about this year's Eid Kabir, which tends to depict more of love and unity in action. Momso Damian Dati celebrated the day with some families and reports that the ties that and lessons that binds us are worth emulating.
The heavens are heavy and ready to release. Irrespective, Salah must be. Welcome to the Sapi of Garki's palace, talking about the traditional ruler of Garki. The house witnesses a beehive as everyone sets to work, preparing for the big day. Rams are tied and waiting to be sacrificed. Children are set and eager to perform the Eid. Then comes the Sapi, leading his people to the Eid prayer ground. And back home to pray for peace and admonish his people.
Security is everybody's business. We are all stockholders. Let's allow peace to reign. All those who are aggrieved, let us all lay down our arms and we'll pray Allah to bring peace to all of us. Nigeria will continue to grow.
But then, something caught my attention. This young lady, busy working and sharing food.
My name is Gift Stephanus. I'm a Christian and I'm in my grandfather's house. For every Salah, I come here, join them to work so that we can cook and share for our loved ones. I have the freedom to walk around, to do anything I want as a member of the family, and they so much love me too. As Christian and Muslim, we live very peaceful and we understand one another.
While I was still savoring the pleasant surprise of such love and unity, another one came. Jamal and Gift, such a pleasant sight.
Actually, she's my sister.
Really?
Yes, and she's Christian and Muslim. Since from childhood we are together, we have been ruling together, doing things together. It has been long. I don't know if she's here. Accidentally, I came here to pray, so I also her.
They are not the only ones here. The family is a large, happy mix of both Christians and Muslims.
It's my uncle. I'm a Christian and he's a Muslim. You know, when there's life and there is hope, loving, singing, everything is one.
My grandfather's brother. I don't mind the fact that I'm Christian. I'm coming to do work in the king's house. Call me every Salah to help them to do some work, and I'll go back. I'm happy about it. They used to share food for those who used to sleep outside. They'll go to mosque, they pray, we wait for them, then share the food for them every Salah. That's how we used to do it.
For the Sapi of Garki, Eid al-Kabir is a time to unite and relate closely with all members of the nuclear and extended family, as well as show love to the less privileged in his domain.
I'm from Plateau State. Somebody invited me to come and chop salad. That's why I'm there. So I feel happy as I'm here. Very 100% happy.
Salah for the Shitus differs from that of the Sapis. The nuclear family who use the Salah period to bond more and discuss issues critically. The lessons here are centered on the critical role of a family in these challenging times.
Today, we are back to our family. I can't do without my family. Wherever I am, even when I'm sleeping, my family is in the heart. So also our country should be looked upon as one big family, and that will join our hand to build that one big family called Nigeria.
When you sit down, you bond, you reflect, you discuss and do so many things together as a family. I think that's very necessary. And there are so many things you look at, you observe with your children and all that.
I pray that there will be peace in Nigeria.
However you wish to celebrate it with the nuclear extended family, all that matters is the love and bond.
Nothing is more unifying than pure show of love and the appreciation of the diverse cultures of others. Very good. Well, it was a moment of joy and excitement in Yola as Muslims marked the Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha celebration under a peaceful atmosphere. Aside its spiritual benefits, the celebration provides opportunities for others to make brisk business, especially for blacksmiths and butchers, as they smiled home with money. How? Simon Asher is a guide.
Every year, Muslims worldwide celebrate Eid al-Adha, an age-long festival which has its root in the Quran and tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that promotes love and piety among the people. During the festival, Muslims distribute food and drinks to their neighbors with roasted meat, the big attraction for many. However, the celebration transcends just the merriment aside its spiritual activities, but also an avenue for people to meet instant in view of the celebration. No wonder blacksmiths and butchers are taking the advantage abound with the celebration to make bricks business, as Muslims in Yola preparatory to the slaughtering of the sacrificial ram sharpened their knives and thereafter roast the skin in furtherance to preparing sumptuous meals in the aftermath of the Eid prayers, thereby helping this set of Nigerians to earn a living.
We make up 100,000 naira during Eid al-Adha celebration. But before now, one can only make 10 to 20,000 naira. The patronage has increased because of the celebration, as many come to sharpen their knives for the slaughter and other needs.
The head and the leg and the skin is for pepper soup. For Ishoba? Good. That's why I'm here to come and do it. They charge me over 3,000 naira for the heads and the skin.
It's 200, 250 to sharpen one knife. Just sharpen it.
The celebration was marked peacefully across the 21 local government areas of Adamawa State.
All-round celebration indeed. We'll pause for a break now. Newsline will continue shortly. Nigerians have continued to conduct themselves in an orderly and responsible manner. And this played out again when Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed visited Germany and was hosted to a reception which was attended by friends of Nigeria from different parts of the world and was a grand event. Anthony Forsen reports.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, in company of the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, had arrived in Berlin, Germany for a serious business, the signing of the joint diplomatic agreement for the repatriation of stolen artifacts from Nigeria.
Germany is making history today by setting the standard
And we hope that other countries who have our artifacts will follow the example of Germany.
With the event over, a night of Nigerian cuisine was scheduled, and guess what? The dance to Nigerian music knew no bounds. Well, the gathering was informal, a night to dine and wine. But however, one feeling resonated in the minds of the august visitors.
It's an emotional day for us in Nigeria. We never knew that a day like this would come. But I think our doggedness and our focus, because our fight is just and our fight is right. And I'm glad that even the Germans are saying that we are returning this because it is the right thing to do. What this means that it's now better understanding, more trust between nations.
I feel particularly excited and particularly happy to be part of this history. I feel great as a Nigerian. I feel very proud as a black man. But I'm particularly happy because the German government and the German people have gathered the courage to admit that something went wrong and that they are ready to make restitution. It takes a lot of courage. What has happened today will open a new chapter in the relationship between Germany and Nigeria.
It's a very historic event, and it is opening a new chapter in cultural diplomacy. Germany and Nigeria have set the standards very high and have put emphasis on culture with the return of these Benin bronzes. 1,130 pieces, that's no joke. You know, it has never happened in modern history that, you know, this number of looted artifacts will be returned. So, and it's coming with a lot of collaborative arrangements between Germany and Nigeria, training, education, museums, and so on and so forth. So, it's fantastic.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture and the Honorable Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and the two foreign minister and the Minister of State for Culture of Germany signed this agreement for the return of 1,130 Benin bronzes that were looted in 1897. Should be seen as a stepping ground also for other countries to take leap so that they should repatriate our Benin bronzes in their holdings in their various countries as well.
Always shine and stand out wherever they go. Proudly Nigerian. And to the power of music. To further strengthen bilateral relations between the United States of America and Nigeria, the Morehouse College of Glee Club, Atlanta, Georgia, has visited Nigeria after 50 years and held a musical concert alongside students of the Musical Society of Nigeria to promote the African culture. Amaka Owo covered.
Music remains a vital arm of the creative industry. It is also a unifying force that enhances socio-cultural awareness and bilateral economic development, as well as political relationships. For the Morehouse Glee Club, Atlanta, Georgia, the 155-year-old institution has a rich history of African music. This brought about the visit by staff and students of the institution to Nigeria in 1972. 50 years after, the institution is back for a musical concert alongside the Musical Society of Nigeria, organized by the U.S. Consulate.
that there are so many characteristics that represent a kind of synergy between the African American musical experience and what seems to be the ongoing tradition in Nigeria with music.
Our culture truly can be promoted through collaboration with the Munson Center, and I'm hoping that this is just the beginning.
Various renditions by the Musical Society of Nigeria in Igbo, Yoruba, Efik, and Ghanaian languages to showcase the rich Nigerian cultural heritage.
Music can, in a way, polish Nigerian image all over the places, because sometimes people think that Nigerians, they're only this and that, without knowing that they have internationalized culture. A very, very important part of the development of the human being. And Africans, we are very musical people.
Solo rendition and performances by students of the Morehouse singing African music was creative and captivating.
Music has the power to unite us, and more specifically to explain the things that are unexplainable.
Everything that we've done as African American music has had African musical roots, especially West Africa.
Climax was the measure of both choir groups.
In the future, I can get to say that I once sang with the Morehouse College.
It's been an amazing experience. I love doing concerts, and just doing a concert, one that's so historic.
Music, they say, is life. It is also a universal language that serves as a tool for national development.
Indeed, music for centuries now has played important roles in international relations and will continue. Our next report is one that is dear to me. Now, in 2019, when I was doing an update on mudslide and building collapse disaster, it took me to Magodo Isheri area of Lagos State. In the course of my work, I stumbled on Anu Balogun. Her left leg was a bit twisted and had a terribly oozing sore. Her predicament started a year before we met her. Now, we featured a story on Newsline, and funds were raised for the restoration of her leg. She's still on the journey of recovery, but there is a challenge hindering the process. Our feature on Anu Balogun tells it all. Balogun is 17 years old now. Her 75-year-old granny is her special Mother Teresa, who is committed to doing all she can to change the ugly lot that has befallen her granddaughter. Anu's predicament started after a ghastly accident she had when she was 13 years old.
Trailer jam us. We are plenty. The person that I'm staying with, the person in hand break. Me, I break leg. His sister dead. But I thank God that I'm alive.
Although Anu survived, pains from injury she sustained and a bad leg became a burden she had to live with. Her condition forced her to stop school because of mobility problem and pains. After we featured her story on Newsline, kind-hearted Nigerians who were moved by her plight donated a wheelchair and funds. Chief Eric Umofia, a philanthropist, even donated 3 million naira and food items for Anu and her grandmother. The doctors at the National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi, Lagos, said rather than amputation, through the use of Ilazarov treatment, her twisted leg can be straightened and she could walk well again. Excited at the hope of full recovery and realizing that the wheelchair given to her may not be useful because of the swampy and flooded nature of her surrounding, Anu donated it to a newborn mother who is also physically challenged. Anu registered with the National Hospital for treatment, and the journey to her full recovery began. First, they had to treat her bad sore. It was quite a long process because it was so bad that maggots had to be flushed out of it. Reinfection didn't help matters too. Series of tests and analyses were carried out, including x-rays after x-rays on both legs, all at different points. Finally, she was billed for the first surgery, but the unexpected blows from the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown caused constraints that put her surgical procedure on hold. After restrictions were lifted, the tests, analysis, and x-rays had to be done all over again. The appointment with the surgeons eventually materialized, and Anu went under the knife 3 times at intervals. Afterwards, an Elizarov equipment was put on her leg. She has been wearing it for months now.
I was thinking maybe the surgery will never hold out, but now I'm happy the surgery is done and I'm getting better small.
One more surgery is, however, required to remove the metal and conclude her treatment. Unfortunately, the 3,700,000 naira raised for her treatment has been exhausted. 3 surgeries, medications, series of bone x-rays, test analysis, and medical examinations have eaten deep into the purse, including the cost of transportation from a not so easily accessible neighborhood in Isheri Magodo to the hospital in Fadeyi area of Lagos. The taxi driver, who virtually doubles up as a guardian, insists on a particular fee which had to be paid, as most cabs would rather not enter the community where Anu resides because of its sloppy, muddy, and flooded nature. Anu, on the other hand, cannot limp through the flood water to the bus stop. So based on this, a lot goes into transporting her to and from the hospital.
I thank God she is recovering and we are coming to Nigerians again so that she can get her last surgery.
The Elizarov treatment is an orthopedic surgical technique designed to lengthen and strengthen bone as well as soft tissue. The technique and innovative device, the doctors say, can save limbs that otherwise could have been amputated. Efforts to get them to speak on the procedure on camera has not been fruitful. The reality, however, is that the device on the teenager's leg needs to be removed and her treatment concluded.
Back then, the leg was too thin, but now it was straight through, and I'm very, very grateful.
That sad-looking girl, who had lost all hope when we first met her 4 years ago, is now an optimistic youth who is desperately praying that her full recovery would happen soon, so she can shift attention from her painful leg to school and life as a doctor. When we interviewed Anu Balogu 4 years ago, she said she wanted to become a nurse, but now she has changed her mind and she now wants to be a doctor because of her experience. We are hopeful and optimistic that Anu Welcome back. The feature you're about to watch is about a woman worth celebrating even after her death. She was aptly described as the Mother Teresa of Nigeria for her uncommon love and humanitarian activities. Even in death, her love continues to resonate. Jonathan Omajale brings us the story of Janet, Ibiemi Ekudayo, the woman who raised over 500 children in her lifetime.
You want to eat?
Safe and sound in loving arms. But little Irioluwa's life would have taken a difficult path without the existence and beneficence of Ekundayo Children's Home, an orphanage in Isonlu, headquarters of Yagba East Local Government Area, Kogi State.
The boy was given to me on Friday last year, November. It's a baby when they brought the boy. They said the mother is incensed, so she can't take care of him. So there's nobody to help them. They decided to bring the boy.
The orphanage has become a fortress for distressed children from different backgrounds. It's a story of a woman with a large heart, Janet Ibiemi Ekundayo, and her husband, Reverend Silas Ekundayo, who started it in 1940. Though her husband died in 1972, she kept the project alive, and by 2008, she had already cared for over 500 children.
Janet Ibiemi Ekundayo died in 2009 at the age of 105. She left behind a very big shoe, but thankfully the vision lives on, bringing hope to the hopeless and shelter to the homeless.
Ekundayo, which means tears turned to joy, had 5 children. Her only daughter, Grace Olusegun Cole, retired her service in 2008 to assist her. Today, she and the board of trustees are building on the legacy of her mother, training the children from primary to tertiary institutions.
During the most time, I said we have over 500. During my own time, I have up to 35 to 45.
The board is made of people that are God-fearing, men of and women of high integrity.
He's taking care of me. When some are not feeling fine, like today now, there are almost 4 or 5 that are not feeling well, and they are 2. It's only that we take them to hospital.
Their efforts have attracted the attention of the government and good-spirited individuals, but Grace said they are in dire need of help.
To get staff, they need money. To get food, we need money. To get education for these children, we need money. Medical attention, we need money. At times, children can 3, 4 can sick at a time.
Selfless service to humanity can never be forgotten.